So if you don't know, Mr. Beast is alleged to be involved in a lot of crypto scams right now. CoffeeZilla is an extremely high-level journalist. He doesn't get many things wrong. Unlike Dogpack, who kind of started this whole thing. Dogpack started like saying how evil Mr. Beast is. You see Dogpack only has 2 videos instead of 3 right now. That's because one of his videos, he literally alleged that somebody was an abuser and he wasn't. He just said, oh, I heard from a friend who heard from a friend that this guy was an abuser. CoffeeZilla is not like that. And before we start, I just want to say, rug pulling crypto is illegal. You actually have to have papers that show you tried to not rug pull it and that there actually was a strategy. Otherwise, you actually can get arrested, even though it's just crypto. This video was posted 1 hour ago, so we're gonna get into this, and I'm actually so hyped about CoffeeZilla investigating Mr. Beast. This video that you're gonna watch with me is gonna be a lot longer than the original, so if you like long videos, check this one out. If you just wanna see CoffeeZilla's version, it's gonna be pinned in the comments. So go to the comments if you don't wanna hear my dumb voice, click on that, and then you're gonna watch the original video, okay? Let's check it out.
I investigated Mr. Beast, who is recently accused of making $23 million with insider trading and scams. I wanted to know the full story, so I reached out to everyone, from researchers to crypto projects, even to Mr. Beast himself, and
Look at that, already reaching out to a bunch of different people instead of just coming out with a random video and a bunch of accusations and then saying allegedly to cover your tracks like Dogpack. This is how a real journalist does things. Props, man. Props to him.
Let me say, the story is more complicated than you think. I want to be clear. What Mr. Beast did, what his team did, is shady.
And I also think CoffeeZilla is biased towards Mr. Beast because he's had Mr. Beast on his show before. So I wonder if there's going to be any bias with this.
What we care about is, did he cross that bright red line from shady to illegal scam? And contrary to what Twitter says, I don't think that's an easy answer. Instead, I think the answer will depend on you. If you love Mr. Beast, there will be an explanation at every turn and a scapegoat. But if you hate Mr. Beast, what I'm about to show you will seem unethical and like a clear abuse of fame for money.
Okay, so he's talking about bias right now. And this is interesting because there's no way to eliminate human bias. So how I usually do it is I try to say, okay, would this hold up in a court of law? Is there reasonable doubt? Because you can always doubt. Somebody can break 10 laws in a row and you could be like, oh, he didn't know. But reasonable doubt's what matters to me.
So already this story is difficult, but I want to make you aware of 2 more things which matter. First, I have gone to Mr. Beast's team to try to fact check this story extensively. And
already better than Dogpack, bro. I'm not going to stop hating him, man.
They declined to fact check or comment on my many questions. Instead, they gave me a statement, which we will get to. Secondly, I have a bit of history with Mr. Beast. I interviewed and spoke positively about him.
And he's admitting his own bias. Holy God.
In the past, but also his new co-founder is suing me, and his other co-founder threatened to sue me.
Okay, and by the way, there's going to be a bubble up top right now. I have a video on Logan Paul suing CoffeeZilla and actually goes into Ludwig and the drama that caused. So click there if you want to watch that. Anyway, let's continue.
So you can make of that what you will. As always, I just want to let you know where I'm coming from, and I've tried to get all sides of the story. We're going to start with the major allegations against Mr. Beast and build on those. They come from 2 sources. Firstly, an investigation by Soma XBT, which claims Mr. Beast made $10 million by backing low-cap crypto tokens, which are down 90%.
And so he makes $10 million, and the average person who held the coin loses 90% of their wealth. So it's like, whose money went to Mr. Beast? Well, it's the holders who lost money. That's how it works.
And the second investigation comes from a group of 5 people who investigated Mr. Beast and found $23 million in profits from, quote, scams, shady deals, his network. Now, there are a lot of crypto projects they go over, and I want to be clear. Some of these allegations I agree are bad. Others I think are actually worse than have been reported, and still other allegations I simply disagree with them on. So we're going to start with what I don't agree with. According to the report,
Pokemon, a cryptocurrency focused on creating digital collectible monster. Okay, this is just straight up Pokemon. That's cool. This is something I would fall for, bro.
Polychain Monsters, or PMON, is a project which KSI promoted heavily. Mr. Beast did not. But Mr. Beast did get in the pre-sale and make a lot of money. And thus, the conclusion is made, it's highly likely Mr. Beast made an investment from that insider information of KSI's promotional deal. But there's simply no evidence provided of this. I had the same thoughts about JigStack, another coin which KSI promoted, and the conclusion is, though Mr. Beast did not officially follow JigStack, in his network, KSI was involved in promoting JigStack. From this information, Mr. Beast invested and made a large...
Okay, you can't... Mr. Beast knows KSI. KSI did a scam, therefore Mr. Beast did the scam. This is not good evidence at all, bro.
Return. Here, again, there isn't concrete proof. Now, I asked the team who wrote this piece, and the lead author, Casper Vanderlook, told me, quote, having known Mr. Beast's having a very strong connection with KSI, it's basically highly probable.
Basically highly probable because they have a connection. That's not how it works. You need evidence, bro. Sorry.
He was vested as a result of KSI.
Like, I know a murderer, right? That doesn't mean I murdered someone. Like, come on, dude.
No concrete evidence, just going off probabilities. But I'm going to say I don't agree with that, and I'm going to toss those probabilities aside. I think they reach too far. Instead, I'm going to stick with what we can prove happened.
Yay, better than idiots on Twitter.
Luckily, the biggest claims in this report, the biggest moneymakers, are much better supported by evidence. Starting with Super. This is the project Mr. Beast is alleged to have made the most amount of money on, over $10 million based on a pre-sale of $100,000. As for evidence, we have leaked screenshots showing Mr. Beast telling Super's founder that he can do $100K.
So he's talking to the founder and pre-sale buying it before everyone else gets to jump in it. Oh boy.
Then we have a wallet that both investigations traced to Mr. Beast, sending $100K to the pre-sale wallet. And then we have the same wallets getting millions of these super tokens in a period of unlocks, which were almost all sold aggressively. Now, why is this bad? Well, Mr. Beast is obviously hugely influential, and he publicly associated himself with the project twice.
But that's not illegal, though. You're allowed to associate yourself with any project.
Once on March 3rd, 2021.
Okay, we're going to talk about eyeball emojis here. Come on.
He responded to a tweet with eyeball emojis. And then he interacted a second time on May 12th, 2021. This is much worse. The founder, Elio Trades, had tweeted, there's a gym sitting there on the market at eye-watering prices set to explode during the DeFi Summer 2.0. Mr. Beast's response, Super? But what he doesn't say is that he'd already purchased a huge stake in Super at this point, and on the day that he's tweeting, he was selling tokens, allegedly. Not only that, he had been selling tokens and continued to sell tokens. In the 72 hours after the May 12th tweet, Mr. Beast sold about $200,000 worth of these tokens.
Okay, so what does this mean? So Mr. Beast makes a tweet, and people are going to see Mr. Beast tweet on something and then buy. Mr. Beast didn't say buy, he just made a tweet. Mr. Beast is actually actively selling it. I'm kind of an idiot, but I think I'm following so far.
And remember the context. He's responding to the founder of the coin discussing a gym at eye-watering prices that's going to explode during the summer. And Mr. Beast's response is the coin he's selling. So publicly, it's signaling, hey, Super is this undervalued coin, and privately, Mr. Beast allegedly sold.
Well, he said Super with a question mark. He's asking a question. That's not making a claim, to be fair.
Now, I ran these wallets by Mr. Beast, as well as the accusation, but I didn't get a reply. Instead, I got a heavily lawyered statement from a spokesman, who I'm going to warn you is about to complicate things. Quote, these investments were made and managed in consultation with industry experts to ensure full compliance with all appropriate rules and regulations. The wallet is not owned or managed by Jimmy, but rather a fund led by respected and sophisticated managers. The fund closely evaluated and scrutinized hundreds and hundreds of opportunities, which resulted in several investments.
So they have Fall Guys. It's an investor doing this and not Mr. Beast, right?
Some have been more successful, others less, and others still works in progress. The fund's investment strategies apply the same rigorous standards as many other experienced investors in the field. Now, I have a lot of questions, but the big thing is Jimmy denies doing any of the trading or managing the trading and blames it on a fund. So I asked some obvious follow-up questions. What is the name of this fund? Who are the industry experts? And what rules and regulations were followed that allowed you to tweet about a coin while your fund is selling?
Are there rules saying you can't tweet about a coin if you're popular? And then if so, it's like, What's the cutoff? Oh, I only have 100 followers. I'm allowed to tweet. Oh, I have 100,000. Now I'm not. Well, I don't understand.
I didn't get a response. It's worth mentioning the spokesman is Matthew Hiltzik, a well-known crisis management consultant. Thankfully, online, there still are a number of clues we can follow to try to find the right person for this fund. The reason most people link Mr. Beast to this wallet we've been tracking is mostly based on a tweet by Mr. Beast saying he bought a specific CryptoPunk, which belonged to an account which goes by Wu-Tang Clan. People assumed, understandably, that this was Mr. Beast's wallet.
Okay.
But what is lesser known is that another account has also tweeted about CryptoPunks and has the same ties back to Wu-Tang Clan. A guy named Jason Williams. He's followed by Mr. Beast on Twitter, and he's the author of a book on Bitcoin, so he's a crypto guy. And I found Jason tweeting about another CryptoPunk saying, I hope you enjoy your new home, sold for 100 ETH. That sale he's talking about links back to the same address Mr. Beast does.
Can we just take a second to shout out whoever edits this guy's videos? This is great editing right here. These effects. This is awesome, dude. CoffeeZilla is the man.
Wu-Tang Clan. On YouTube, there's even more clues. Jason can be seen surfing wearing a Wu-Tang Clan shirt, and his brand name, Going Parabolic, happens to be owned by the same Mr. Beast wallet, goingparabolic.eth. So there's very good evidence that Jason Williams was also involved in this same wallet, which means that it might be true that Mr. Beast wasn't the guy buying or selling, which would be good for Mr. Beast and bad for these investigations.
This is what's called reasonable doubt.
But just when I thought Mr. Beast might have no say in what this wallet did, I saw this podcast with Logan Paul, where Jimmy discusses CryptoPunks once again, and things get complicated.
So me and Logan both bought punks. You guys will probably see on his Twitter that he bought a bunch of CryptoPunks at the same time, right?
Yep.
Gary pulled us in that call.
Yep.
So have you ever told that story?
No.
Gary V, it's like 11 p.m. just out of nowhere, just calls me and he's like, yo, I got like 30 people to call, hop in. I'm like, I don't care. He's like, it'll be the best decision of your life. Just get in. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I just joined the call. And I just see like Logan and I don't even know these other people. I don't want to put them on blast.
Every heavy hitter you can imagine who's worth $1 billion was on this one call. Ooh. And Gary V is in the little corner, the little square. He's going, CryptoPunks. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the next Facebook.
Now I can actually add value to the video. This is a digital marketing strategy certification from Harvard Business School Online. I do know a lot about digital marketing, and that's why I know a little bit about the Gary Vee situation here. Gary Vee was talking about CryptoPunks a lot earlier than before this call. So Gary Vee was talking about CryptoPunks publicly. It wasn't just that he was secretly doing this call. He was publicly on his Instagram. You can go back and check the dates. Publicly talking about CryptoPunks, NFTs for a long time before this. Back to the vid.
Or all of us were like, okay,
everyone's
Gary.
Judging. I'm texting Logan. I'm like, Gary lost his
legit?
mind.
Bro, all of us were like, yo, Gary's nuts. Yo, Gary was right again.
I bought a bunch.
Wait.
Yeah, I bought quite a few.
How many?
I don't want to say, but
you have to please.
I bought multiple ones. Yeah.
Well, bro, are you in double digits, punks?
Just shy.
Huh. Well, this clip is very interesting because Jimmy said he made the decision to get CryptoPunks based on a call with Gary Vee. But those punks are owned by the wallet we just said was controlled by Jason. So it appears sometimes Mr. Beast is telling Jason what to buy for this fund. Mr. Beast then later talks about selling these CryptoPunks and rolling the money into a new project. And once again, it sounds like he's in charge.
Well, I've already sold quite a few of them, so I don't.
What? Dude, he's on to the next thing.
I bought a bunch of, so then I rolled the money into VeeFriends because Gary, same thing, called me. He's like, VeeFriends. I was like, I don't know, but last time I made money, sure.
Okay, VeeFriends is Gary Vee's own crypto project.
I'll be honest, these
NFT project, my bad.
Clips to me make it difficult to assume Mr. Beast had no idea what's going on. He talks about CryptoPunks and VeeFriends like personal investments. And on Twitter, he says that not only he bought CryptoPunks, he also tweets about loading up on VeeFriends. But again, I have to say, it is also abundantly clear Jason Williams was involved. He says, hey Gary, thanks for the VeeFriends gift goat. It was a gift from Gary to Mr. Beast. I'm very thankful for it. He didn't have to send anything. So once again, Jason Williams appears to be involved and have something to do with the trading or management of Mr. Beast's crypto wallet, but we know Mr. Beast made some of the decisions. So, of course, I asked Mr. Beast to explain himself if he had any say over the trading. But once again, there's no response. So now I want to turn back to Super. We know from leaked DMs that Mr. Beast and not Jason set up this pre-sale, and we know that Mr. Beast made the tweet.
Yes.
So now we have to guess. Here's what we know. We know Mr. Beast set up the pre-sale according to leaked screenshots. We know Mr. Beast made the tweet, but we don't know whether it was Jason doing the trading of Super, or if he was doing the trading, did Mr. Beast know about it?
Okay, so from my understanding, what he's saying is sometimes the manager of the account makes the purchases and sales, and sometimes Mr. Beast is able to tell him what to do. So it's really both of them have a hand in it. And the fall guy is going to be whoever actually bought early and then sold or rug pulled or whatever he's being accused of. That's going to be what this whole thing's about.
Did Jason know about the tweet? These are the questions that ultimately matter. And yes, I reached out to Jason Williams for a comment. He didn't reply. I did, however, get a hold of Elio Trades, who is the founder of Super, and he insisted that Mr. Beast's tweet was not a part of a deal for promotion. But you should know, he also mentions how upset he was with how pre-sale investors sold their tokens, saying most of them sold, including Mr. Beast. So those are the facts. Mr. Beast gets involved in a pre-sale, for some reason tweets at this project twice, one time on the day his fund is selling tokens,
okay,
where he seems to imply that they're undervalued.
I don't think he implied it. Saying, is it this project question mark, is not making a statement. It's asking a question to me. Does that make sense? Like, asking about something isn't making a claim one way or the other.
In total, he's alleged to have made $11 million with this deal, according to the report. So yeah, that's really bad. Now we're going to turn to another allegation, which is about Earn, or Eternity Chain. There are some facts which are the same. There are others that are different. For example, instead of Mr. Beast setting up the deal directly, the team at Earn claims they never spoke to Mr. Beast. Quote, "We were speaking to his fund manager. And when I asked about these wallets selling allegedly over $4 million in tokens, they say, quote, Mr. Beast's fund was an early investor in our pre-sale. He had the same unlock schedule as everyone else. Were we happy with the way he sold? Definitely not. But legally, there was nothing we could have done. And then, just like with Super, they claim they didn't ask for a promotion of the project, but that Mr. Beast decided to comment once himself anyways. On March 9th, 2021, Mr. Beast responds to Eternity Chain saying, this one will be hype. It's
he's making a lot of tweets about projects, crypto projects,
worth noting, once again, about 24 hours before saying this fund wallet purchased over $100,000 of Earn tokens in addition to the presale. Now, what is different about Super is that Mr. Beast's name was put publicly on the Eternity Chain website. On their investors and partners page, you might be asking, well, which is it? Is he an investor or a partner? And the answer is both. He got into the presale, and the Earn team also claims that he partnered with them for an NFT drop. Supposedly, it was a charity drop and a normal NFT drop. Now, the charity drop specifically did happen.
Are you guys following this?
Association with one of Mr. Beast's projects, Team Seas, saying, quote, all proceeds will go towards cleaning up the seas around the world. This was early November 2021. Then the official Team Seas account posts it on November 3rd, 2021, quote, what an awesome crypto collaboration in support of the team. Then the CEO of Eternity Chain, Nick Rose, confirms in Telegram that the drop is supported by Mr. Beast.
Can we just say anything in Telegram is automatically sketchy? Automatically, I'm sketched out when people use Telegram.
Saying Earn and ETH tokens will be accepted for the charity auction, which was slated to last 2 months. Now, the reason I'm sharing all of this is because 1 month into this 2-month charity auction on November 30th, 2021, the Rocket Fund or Beast Fund or whatever you want to call it starts selling huge amounts of this Earn token. Allegedly, they sold over $2 million, while the charity itself was still going on. Now, I know that sounds horrible. It looks horrible. It is horrible.
Yeah.
Although I have to tell you, personally, I don't think this was a master plan to pump a coin with a charity auction. If it was the plan, it was a bad one because the NFT auction was ultimately a flop. But do I also think it doesn't matter because regardless of your intentions, selling tokens within a month of your 2-month charity auction is wrong, stupid, and unethical?
Yes, 100%. This is at minimum sketchy, irresponsible, and potentially unethical. There's no way around that. You're partnering with them and there's a charity event where people buy it and you're actually actively selling it while people are trying to buy it for charity. That's messed up.
Yes, I think that as well. Because in case you forgot, Mr. Beast is the charity guy whose name is on the website. It isn't a fund. It isn't a crypto rocket fund. It's Mr. Beast's branding. I even asked the Earn team about this, saying, quote, why did y'all list Mr. Beast instead of Rocket Fund in your partners' investors? Was that discussed? They say, quote, we listed him, Mr. Beast, as a partner and, quote, yes, they accepted that. So according to the Earn team, Mr. Beast knew or should have known that his name was on the line for this investment and partnership.
He knew. He 100% knew.
And yet, this fund, his fund, whatever you want to call it, sold tokens 1 month after starting a 2-month NFT auction for charity. To be fair again, though, it's hard to oversell how bad this NFT auction did. I have found only one NFT that appears to have sold here, but the bids were made in the Earn token, which the fund was selling, and the actual sale of the NFT didn't happen until after the fund sold in November 30th. The transfer happened in December 23rd. So of course, I went to Mr. Beast directly to answer this and see if there was some more context they could provide.
Please.
There was no response other than the statement we've already read from Mr. Beast that he did not control the trading. Although again, that isn't a really satisfying answer.
No.
Because we've established Mr. Beast would sometimes direct what to buy and sell to this fund, like CryptoPunks.
But how are you going to prove that he's the one who made the decision or not? That's what I don't understand. I don't understand how he's going to get to the point where he can prove that Mr. Beast is the one who made the call. Hey, sell this, even though the charity that I am promoting is still going on, where I'm partnered with them, who is basically telling you keep buying while I'm selling while it's high, while people are doing this. How are we going to prove that Mr. Beast is the one that made that call or not?
Personally, like I said, I don't think this was a pre-planned scheme. But regardless of intentions, if you're the charity guy, you support a charity, it flops while your fund makes millions of dollars in profits because it's selling the same Earn token people could bid on the charity with, that just is awful.
Awful's a nice way of putting that. Damn. This is why CoffeeZilla is the man.
And you should feel awful about it. Look, now I want to move on from that.
When you are involved in charity, it's not a game. It's not about you making money. If you're going to do charity and try to maximize the charitable efforts. Your name is attached to that. You're doing something for the goodwill of mankind. You're not supposed to make money off of that. I understand charity. Maybe there's ways where you can reduce your tax burden, whatever. You're not supposed to make money off of that. That's crazy. That's actually nuts. To me, it's unethical.
To talking about our final token, XCAD. This is a token you may remember from our investigation into Mr. Beast's business partner, KSI. But unlike KSI, Mr. Beast was not promoting it a lot on Twitter. In fact, the only reason we know Mr. Beast was in the presale is that there were several articles about it, bragging about that fact.
YouTuber Mr. Beast and KSI invest in XCAD network. And here's the thing, just adding Mr. Beast's name is going to make more people buy it, straight up. And it's going to be a not small number.
Once again, Mr. Beast's name was used to promote this instead of the fund itself. And internally to investors, I have to say, this built up a lot of excitement, not just because Mr. Beast is a huge name, but because XCAD had what's called creator tokens. So the idea to some investors is that, well, if they're investing Mr. Beast and KSI, what if they were ever to launch creator tokens? That would be massive.
I remember.
And I bring this up because some people might ask, like, what do these affiliations, how do they impact people buying these projects? And the answer from what I've seen is they actually do impact it quite a lot because people are anticipating like further involvement. And also the idea is like they must not be investing unless they're long-term holders.
They're assuming that these people promoting their own coins, the coins that have their face on it, they're assuming that these people are going to actually try to act ethically and not rug pull. That's a big assumption you shouldn't make in the crypto NFT space at all.
You can see this in the Telegram chat. It became so common.
Telegram chat, I automatically want to run, bro.
That in the XCAD community, one of the admins says, "Here we go again," another community member asking if there's any possibility of a Mr. Beast KSI token. And meanwhile, by the way, as that's happening, as the investors are hoping for these creator tokens and that they're imminent, behind the scenes, something entirely different had been happening. Like with Super and Earn, Mr. Beast's fund sold a lot of their XCAD early in 2021.
What a coincidence, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times. How many times are we going to be able to blame the investor's fault? Mr. Beast is probably statistically very involved in this, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Rather than holding their tokens. And this was surprising to even the founder of XCAD himself, Oliver Bell, who said they told him they were going to do the opposite. He tells me, quote, "Hey, so Mr. Beast reached out to me during our pre-sale raise. A group was set up with his team, and we had a call with his team, and they said they liked the concept. There was no strings attached to the investment. They did, however, want a lot bigger ticket than what I offered them, which I'm glad I did not fulfill."
Typos and all.
We discussed not just flipping this token, as this can damage projects if people have decent sized tickets. It was my understanding we were aligned on this. However, after listing to which XCAD performed well, there was heavy dumping from a wallet linked to Mr. Beast's team.
To be fair, though, like, listen up. You can't sell conditionally that, hey, I'm going to sell this to you, but I don't want you to sell it ever. I don't want you to lock any profits in. You also can't do that. When you sell something to somebody else, it's theirs to buy or sell now. It's theirs.
I got in contact with them immediately and asked them why they were selling like this. Now, Oliver later claims this discussion about flipping tokens and them being aligned about the fact they're not going to flip these tokens so quickly was with Jason. And apparently, Oliver was so upset about what happened, he DM'd Jimmy directly.
I'd be mad too. If I want this to be a long-term project and you get a giant whale buying it and then instantly selling and trying to lock in profits or using it like a pump and dump, I'd be mad too, because that makes the coin look bad.
Quote, explaining his team will ruin his reputation. And look, sorry to be a broken record, but yes, I reached out to Jimmy about this too. And once again, there was no reply besides the statement we read earlier.
Surprise, surprise. Very, very heavy lawyer talk here.
It's worth mentioning that I asked Oliver for proof of this message about ruining relationships, and he said the message had been deleted on Telegram. So who you believe here is up to you. Oliver also says, quote, "I don't think Jimmy has a bad heart or is a bad person. I think he has genuine interest in the crypto space, but..."
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you have a good heart or a bad heart. If you do something that breaks the law, I mean, you should probably pay for that. That's how it works, right?
But I think the team that handles his crypto is completely clueless. And here, on this last point, I have to disagree with Oliver. I don't think that Jimmy's crypto team is clueless. I think they saw an opportunity to make millions of dollars with Mr. Beast's valuable brand, and they took it, and they did make millions of dollars.
And even if it just is Mr. Beast's team, his like investing team doing this, if it's just that, and if he doesn't have the say so, or if he's not making these calls of when to sell, depending on how your job is set up and when you sign your NDAs and when you sign on to a job, you might be legally obligated to lock in certain amounts of profit, and you might be legally obligated to, when you see signals, you have to sell. Like, you're financially legally obligated to do the best job that you can according to your own skill set and intelligence. So that's also another factor. They might legally kind of have to do this.
And along the way, they did some things that were shady. Whether or not you think they were also illegal is probably going to be shaped by our unanswered questions and where you fill in those gaps. For example, do you think Mr. Beast knew about the selling that was going on May 12th for the Super token? Why did he make that tweet? And then, do you think Mr. Beast knew about the charity auction and the selling that was happening on November 30th?
There's no way he didn't know about the charity auction. His name was even on the website. Come on, dude.
And do you think Oliver Bell DM'd Mr. Beast and told him his crypto team would ruin his reputation? And if so, was that ignored? I hate to leave so many unanswered questions here, but I warned you, this was a complicated story. And a big part of the problem is the guy at the center of this story cannot or will not give more than a heavily lawyered statement through a spokesman who's a crisis management consultant. And let me just say, it's also frustrating that this statement takes zero accountability.
Right. And here's the thing also, when you do things that are borderline illegal, you're not allowed to take accountability, because that could in court become you admitting to something. Whereas if you don't take accountability, then in court, if something goes to court, you don't have that, hey, you admitted this.
Despite the fact Mr. Beast's team knew every major allegation that we're laying out here today, there is no mention of selling while Mr. Beast was tweeting about Super Token. There's no mention of them selling tokens a month after they partnered with a 2-month charity auction. And because of that, this statement feels very hollow. I think to Mr. Beast and probably to his fund, maybe this is just business. They set out to make a lot of money and they made a lot of money. What's the problem, right? This is America. They might think this is the biggest Mr. Beast nothing burger since Mr. Beast Burger. But look, honestly, I'd agree with them if they had done this crypto stuff without using Mr. Beast's name.
Right.
But they want to have their cake and eat it too. This fund trades on Mr. Beast's name.
If Mr. Beast's name wasn't attached to half of these, if he wasn't tweeting and following these coins, if he wasn't doing that, then a lot of these people that pump the coin up and buy wouldn't do it, because you get a whale. Mr. Beast is considered a whale in crypto. And when he follows, there are bots that literally see who Mr. Beast follows. And as soon as he follows a crypto coin, that bot immediately posts it. And then people immediately buy that coin, knowing that other people will buy it, knowing that there eventually might even be a pump and dump, but they want to be part of the pump part. Like people are on it.
As we've seen, they get in pre-sales based on his name. He tweets from his public account, and they're putting his name publicly on projects' websites instead of a fund. But when things go south, suddenly, oh, Mr. Beast, what? No liability, just because he's not sitting there physically pressing the buttons. I don't think that's the way it works. Look, I want to close with the final part of this CryptoPunks podcast we showed you earlier, because in many ways, I think it's a microcosm of this story. Obviously, I have to say, I'm not making any comments or judgments about the guy who's suing me, who's also in this clip.
I will. I think it's completely stupid that Logan Paul is suing CoffeeZilla. Can we all just agree that that's the dumbest thing ever?
Just coincidence. I am only talking about Mr. Beast's reaction, because as Mr. Beast is talking about Gary V's great CryptoPunks call, there's a moment when the co-host says, hey, maybe instead of Gary Vee being a genius, maybe it's just the call itself that makes the market. And Mr. Beast kind of defends it. He says, no, that was in February. CryptoPunks didn't pop until the summer. And, I never talked about CryptoPunks until this very moment.
No, it's always a part of it. Again, there are people that know your wallet ID. And if you buy something, the bots automatically know. You can't avoid it.
Can I ask you guys a question? When Gary does that call with all these billionaires, and 8 months or a year later, everybody's like, Gary was right again.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he's right because of the call?
And part of that is yes. If you're going to be a heavy hitter, you're creating a whale situation. And when people buy, it's literally just like politicians here. Politicians will buy, Tesla, and all of a sudden everyone buys Tesla and it pumps it up. And then the politician will sell Tesla, and it's like public information, right? So that does happen. Anyone who has influence, who buys anything publicly, influences it going up or down, period. End of story. Now, whether that's ethical or unethical, they can't avoid it. So who knows?
Do you know what I'm saying?
I think about that a lot.
Dude, he has all these billionaire market makers in the thing. He makes the call, makes the market.
You can't say that didn't have any impact. It's impossible.
By the way, you look around at all the punk owners a year later and you're like, damn, it's all the same motherfuckers that were on the call.
No, because, bro, there's 10,000 punks and there's only 30 of us in the call. We can only own and do so much. There's still an entire market that's going to happen regardless.
I can tell you, I don't think what, because that was all back early February. Things didn't pop off till later, and every NFT project was popping off.
Yeah, it was holistically. NFTs popped off for a little bit, and then, like Gary Vee said, 90% of NFT projects will fail. He has been preaching that since the beginning. He said, I like the potential of the technology, but most projects will fail. Everybody conveniently forgets that there's videos of him on the record for like 20 speeches in a row when he gets paid to make speeches, 20 speeches in a row. He's warning everybody 90% of these projects will fail and you will lose money on it if you're just buying to make money and you don't believe in the actual project. We can't conveniently forget all of that to pin somebody as a bad guy.
Not just punks.
I mean, make no mistake. Like having such influential people involved in projects, it can't hurt the ability for the project to
but like,
work. You know what I'm saying?
95% of those people didn't even mention it. You know what I mean? Like, I've never talked about it publicly.
Yeah, but that last part isn't quite true.
Right.
The reason we're all here is Mr. Beast tweeted about CryptoPunks the same day he bought them back in February of 2021. That's how we found his wallet, even though we now know someone else was involved too. And I would apply the same level of scrutiny to many of the investments we've talked about. Was it the genius of Jason Williams, Mr. Beast, or this fund that made them tens of millions of dollars? Maybe. Or was it the fact that the name they brought to the table was Mr. Beast?
Well, they're not just mentioning his name by accident. Trust me, it ain't just a coincidence. They're mentioning Mr. Beast's name with their project that they want people to invest in over and over and over again and listing it on the website. It ain't just to be nice. They want to pump that up, obviously. The owners make money the more people buy the project.
One of the most influential and valuable brands in the world. And that's what got them the great deals. That's what got them a bunch of eyeballs. That's what made it so valuable to have his name on these websites. And maybe that's what made the market. Ultimately, I think it's for you to decide.
No. I'm an idiot. It's not for me to decide. People need to stop idolizing celebrities. These people aren't your heroes. They're just normal people. When normal people get into positions where they can exploit their power, they often do. Period. As a YouTuber, it blows my mind that Mr. Beast feels like he needs more money. The guy makes an unreal amount of money. This is purely down to greed. I disagree. So I do like capitalism and you making as much money as possible, as long as it's not at the expense of scamming people. The bittersweet truth of the matter is sometimes we just don't get answers. Here's a video on the worst streamer ever. Please click on that because I'm not monetized yet, but I will be if you click on that. Here's a video of, if you like business, here's a video on the Pink Sauce Lady and all those business mistakes that she made. Check them out. I appreciate it, guys. Hey, check out the original video. I'm pinning it in the comments. The original video without me blabbing the whole time. Please like the original video. I want this video to blow up. It deserves it. Guys, see you later. Bye, subscribe. Bye. Okay, bye now.